I paid $10 for approximately 100 books that had already gone through the hands of an Amazon FBA reseller. Let's see how I did. I bought the books without scanning them and without looking them up online until I got home. One of the reasons I say that these books pass through an FBA reseller's hands is there's none of the obvious stuff. The really fast movers, say 600,000 and below on the VSR, and with nice prices, say 20, better yet, $25 or up, that move real fast, at least without looking at the edition and collectability of the book, especially the condition, and starting to look at the market overall for the special examples. Let's go through these and see how I did. Ordinarily, textbooks are the most profitable category of books that I'm likely to bump into, but this was not to be. Of these 29 or 30 books, I found one that had a sell back your book price of 48 cents on it, and basically just a lot of garbage. Through this source, I had acquired some in the past that were actually quite good, so I was hopeful, and this was a bit of a disappointment. I also found 4 novels, 3 recent novels, or relatively recent novels, by Joseph Wambaugh, author of The Onion Fields. I think that's his best known work, and a Jaws paperback with a TV tie-in. Nothing special at all with the Jaws, although I have found TV tie-ins in sci-fi and terror and horror from around this period, in fact, maybe a little later, late 70s to early 80s, and I'll do another video on it. I was very surprised at the value in those books. Here, the Wambaugh, one of them has a slight damp stain on the first front end page. Nothing here special. One of them is beginning to tan. The sell-through rates on them is just so low. I'll take the Wambaugh books to a regional reseller that might be interested, and if I get a trade-in on a bunch of books, then I can fill in some of the holes in certain series that I need to be complete. You are now going to meet my chief box inspector and incoming receiving inspection department, Miss Shadow. Sometimes she comes up here and likes to make a guest appearance in the video. And welcome aboard, Shadow. Let's see what's next. We're going to go to the science fiction book. This haul includes 9 paperbacks and 6 hardcovers that just are not worth listing individually, the way I described a second ago, to a large place to trade them in. Let's see what's next, Shadow. And here's where it starts getting better. There's a Philip Jose Farmer Day World Rebel, which actually looks quite interesting. It's kind of like time sharing of people's lives. That should go for about $10. An Arthur C. Clarke book in a book club edition, but in just really nice shape. Probably near fine with the near fine dust jacket. $15 on Tales from Planet Earth. I found 6 books that'll sell for $5 or $6 a piece. I'm going to lot up Arthur C. Clarke's 2001 and 2010 and put $10 on those. The others $5 or $6. It gets better. I found 5 paperbacks, including a bolo that's $95 and another one that's $24. And then 3 of them are $10. Can you spot the $95 winner here? We have Orbitsville, a 1969 early edition of Tolkien's The Return of the King, Marathon, Orbitsville Departure, and Frank Frazzetti's Death Dealer, written by James Silke, and it's Lords of Destruction Book 3. I bought these. Well, I suspected that the Tolkien book might be worth something and would need to look at condition and printing and research it some, but I was really surprised by the other book. The big winner here, the $95 book, is Frank Frazzetti's Death Dealer. It is solidly a $45 book in lesser condition, and I'm surprised that the scanner zombies, the FBA zombies, missed that book, but I'm just very surprised at that one because it even has a barcode in the back. Tolkien, in this condition with the little seam split down, I mean, not seam split, a crease down the side. It's probably about a $24 book in a very early printing. And the other three here are $10. Let's move along. There's one more really nice bolo remaining. When I found it, I was really curious what one of these books was worth because I figured it might be worth quite a bit. One of the books is Gods from Outer Space by Eric von Däniken. He's author of Chariots of the Gods, and this was a sequel. This is like in its 20-something or 30-something printing. That tells you how common this book is. That's not the big winner. The UFO Experience, a scientific inquiry by J. Allen Hynek, is probably selling, when it sells, for $45 in this condition. It's got a little shoe with some rub and peel on the front cover. The spine has a reasonable crease, you can see. The back is a little bumped and rubbed. That's a $45 book in very good condition like that. And this is a good example of the books that you've heard of, like Eric von Däniken, are probably not worth that much unless there's something special about them. First edition, signed, extremely high condition, those sorts of variables. Mr. Hynek was chairman of the astronomy department at Northwestern University, among other things, and had been hired by the government during Project Blue Book. So he carried a lot of weight and authority back in the early 70s, and I can see why people still want to refer to this book. Then I found some gaming manuals. The Mech Warrior Battletech reference is in near fine condition from Microsoft. Yeah, I'm going to put $8 or $10. I'm going to put $10 on it. I found some other Mech Warrior stuff, and I'll lot it up together. And hopefully it'll move. It is a slow mover. It's not a quick mover. The next one is The Guide from GameStop, and from 2007. I'm going to put $10 on that, and those GameStop manuals do move. Then I found 3 magazines from about that same 2007 period of Game Informer with Call of Duty 4, Prototype, and Borderland is the games. I'm not a gamer. I have no idea if any of those are great titles or not, and I've never heard of Game Informer before. But I took it on a lark and figure that if people are asking $8 or $10 for the magazine and I'm offering 3 of them for $10, I might get a taker. Then the final one is a bolo. It is really cheap, like $2 or $3 book in acceptable condition. This one is almost new old stock. It has the slightest of clues, like if you see down at the bottom of the spine. I mean, we're talking really picking at things. I assure you that's a good angle to show you in that bright light. The book in real life looks much better than that. It's a near fine book. That's a $40 to $45 book in that high grade of condition. When I saw Nintendo Games and saw that book, I go, that's probably a common title, but it's in such nice condition, throw it in the box. And I'm glad I did. Finally, we have about $50 in listing from some old tech manuals, like Windows 98, the general one, and the one for Compaq only. An old dot matrix printer by Panasonic, KXP 2624. Should go for about $13 on eBay. Somebody that collects old computers and peripherals might actually want that. A graphics board manual, Radeon from about 2002, $6, and we'll see if that moves, and $8 for an HP PhotoSmart manual. So 4 of these books will list for $214, and they actually sell pretty well. These are collectible books in decent to very nice condition. So remember, when you're out there, keep your eyes open for the weird stuff, and happy hunting out there. Bye.